Welcome everyone to the 4th episode of This Is For Me, Girls Sath with Tarn and
Rampy. Hello guys, we made it to episode 4 and we're just getting more excited and pumped about what's to come.
We made it to episode 4. We're midway to, I think we're gonna have a first season of 10 episodes. Let's do that.
Yes.
So we're almost midway through the season, guys.
And then just wait and see what's more to come, because we don't know what's more to come, but there definitely is.
Honestly, we just take it episode at a time. We'll film one, and then after we're like, all right, okay, what's the next topic? What do you want to talk about? What's an interesting type of, dynamic we should bring up? So I think what we've tried to establish is, do a little bit of not too serious of a topic but does need to be addressed, and then do a more serious topic. I think we try to make, one at a time, and last week could be possibly a heavier one that we had, episode 3. So I think this week, you know what? We're going to keep it light, we're going to keep it fun, and it's going to be, full of lots and lots of information that I think a lot of people can relate to. Don't you think?
I think so too. And like we mentioned, Taryn mentioned, it's kind of like we're go with the flow mode, which I like. I like the fact that we just go with the flow and we're just like, okay, let's see what happens. And yeah, I appreciate that.
This is our legal disclaimer. Please note that we are not medical professionals or licensed psychologists/therapists. Thoughts, opinions, and comments made within each episode are solely our own. If you require serious medical or psychological help, please consult a professional, as we are just two girlies trying to support the sisterhood of the shit show of what it could be to be a Punjabi girl.
So, the topic of the week is the reality of wedding week. And we're going to have a bride edition, because I was a bride a few years ago. And we're also going to have
the groom's sister edition for a wedding that happened this year. So, we were both at both weddings, so we can attest to many versions and many things that we both witnessed. Yes. So, again, I think it is really, it'll be interesting because not only, again, Rampy was a bride. She got married, 2019, right? I think it was August 2019.
Right before COVID hit is when I was. That's why I got to experience all that.
And can I just say, so to give a bit of more perspective with our families is, your nani and my dadi, right? So they were like a couple of sisters and brothers. I can't remember how many exactly. My brother will tell you to a T how many they were. I don't know. I don't know. And pretty much, they all, had 3-4 kids themselves, and then those were our parents, and then 3-4 kids.
My nanny only had one.
Oh yeah, your mom was an only
She
child.
was the only exception. My mom actually did have 2 brothers, unfortunately, an older one and a younger one, but they passed when they were born. Oh, so wow. Yeah, my mom was the only one. Hence, like, my nanny and nana were very protective of her. And my mom's been, like, literally raised as a boy, as you know. You can attest to the strength and willingness and just the way she is. She's a tough cookie.
Oh yeah. Pua is definitely the way you described, and it's interesting. I never knew about that part, but
me neither. And I found out, and I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, because she always she looks at all of her cousins for that brother sister relationship. You know what I mean? So for her, it's because she hasn't had that growing up, and she looks for all these people, and that's who she attests to, and it's like, oh, this is who it is. This is who's there for me and stuff. So yeah, she likes them. She loves them a lot, although she might always express it, but tough cookie. Remember, tough cookie.
For sure. So, in our family, it pretty much, some of the older cousins, a couple of them, they got married so many years ago, because there's, there's varying ages between all of us. And then, the reason why I'm saying this is to pretty much say that Rampy's wedding in 2019, in my opinion, and I think a lot of us can say that in our family, really just jump-started the wedding seasons in our family.
So, I'm gonna say no. The year before, it was Jyoti's wedding. So, our other cousin, it was her wedding the year before. So technically we say it's gonna hers, then it's mine, and then da 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 da.
Okay, I didn't even realize she got married that year, but
Yeah.
all right. So you guys, both
Anyway,
of
so
you,
we're the ones that kind of set it off in motion, and now it won't stop. And I'm sitting here honestly saying, stop. I need a break, guys. But no, get married, have a beautiful life. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, give me a break. I can't do these outfits and my suitcases. I got 4 suitcases in the basement of outfits, and I'm still sitting here going, okay, I got weddings next year. I have to make new suits. What colors? What am I gonna do? But yet, may prane pe and I'm like, what do I do with those? And yet, I've donated so many of them.
the biggest struggle of being a Punjabi girl is you will have an abundance of suits of different styles, of different colors for different type of occasions,
Yes.
but then you will still say,
like I said,
I don't have anything.
or let's keep up with the new styles and trends and etc. And I can say to you, being a bride, that my vision when I was younger of the outfits and stuff I wanted to get totally changed when I went to India. So I went to India on my own. A bit of my experience and what I went through is my parents are in Montreal. I'm here. I chose to leave Montreal. I love it. I grew up in it. It's a beautiful place. I go back all the time. I visit. I adore it. But coming to Ontario was something I wanted to do for a very, very long time. Only a few people know that. Not everyone knows that, to be honest, and I have been saying it. And then something happened in my life. We'll come back to that another time, and that just caused me to be like, no, I have to go. If this is something I want to do, I have to do it for myself because life's too short. So that whatever happened made me come here, and I was like, okay, let me do what I gotta do. But obviously, visiting a place versus living is two very different things, and I learned that the hard way. I've grown accustomed to it now, and now when I go back to visit Montreal and I'm here, I never feel I'm at home at either places because I'm always missing the other. It is really messed up to say, but I'm always missing the other. And I was so quick to like leave home and be like, oh yeah, freedom, I'm gone. Even though I lived with family here, I came here, I was living with my cousin and his family, very generous, very nice. We had loads of fun. I had 3 nieces, nephews, and we'd play and whatever, and it was a lot of fun. But and especially once you get married, you even feel more displaced. You're like, where is home? What is home? And truly, it comes up being like that person you're with is home. And you will get that to that point, but you really feel it with that person just because you're so comfortable and etc. and whatever it may be. And you'll know when you're with that. So, going back to the whole beginning of this, um, I actually did most of my wedding planning on my own. I had support and help from many people, including my parents, but I was running around looking up the vendors and stuff here mostly on my own. I went to India shopping for myself, by myself. First time taking it that much of a flight by myself all the way there. You know, Canadian born kids, you know how everyone refers to us from there, we all know, and how they think of us and mannerisms and stuff. So my parents were like, are you sure you're gonna be okay over there? Like, nobody else is there, we can't go, and I wasn't gonna make them go just because of the span and the timing and stuff. And I was able to go there and I shared a really nice experience with my Chachi, who unfortunately isn't around anymore. She passed last year, but she really made my experience what it was, and we actually had a lot of fun together. And funny thing is, when I went to India when I was younger, I didn't really like her that much. And the reason was we were kids, and you know how flat out they say, hey, you should lose weight, hey, you should do that. So she was saying it to me, I'm like, but why? I'm a kid. So when you're a kid, she like literally was like touching my leg, she's like, you should lose a little weight here. And I was like, Chachi, like really? But no, that India trip really made me see a different point of view for her, and I loved it. And India shopping is a must. If you can, please go. If you cannot, it's okay, but the food, the outfits just keep coming in front of you and you never get sick of it. And I sit here going like, we need to do that here. We need to have people bring us like samosa and jaan. Like, you know what I mean?
need royalty treatment.
We need to have that introduced here, and just for the hell of it, just for the experience of it, for the ones that can't go, because we grow up like looking at that, going towards it, looking towards it, and it is so much fun to do. So that's why I always say, like, whoever is, and if they're able to, go, bro, go. I get it, like, manga, da 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 da, but the true essence and feeling is just there of it. So that was a good trip. We had a lot of fun. And obviously one of my lehenga wasn't almost gonna, my wedding lehenga wasn't gonna make it, and I took such a long time to choose it. Everything else was chosen. I took a long time to choose that one.
But it was so beautiful. I even to this day will say it was a really beautiful color that you chose. And I loved it. I truly, when Rempy, announced that she's getting married, I remember to this day, I messaged her to just be like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited for your wedding." I was so excited. You have no idea. I was in school at the time in my post grad, and the post grad I was doing was really accelerated and intense. And I remember it was my last semester. I was also doing my internship thing on the side, working part time, and just everything else, and having to like figure out how to manage that and make sure my assignments. I had so many assignments during your wedding week. I also had a midterm after your juggle.
Oh my God.
A midterm after your juggle, okay? And then I just remember I had this one assignment that I had it all sorted out with my group because it was a group assignment, but we were last minute editing and I was literally on my phone on Google Docs updating it at your llama.
Someone should have gotten a picture of that, man.
I'm just saying, your wedding week reminds me of, I can't even imagine being like I loved your wedding, but everything else around, I'm like, how did I do that? When you think back to like, how did I manage a bajillion things? I always think back to your wedding week to be like, I had like 13 different things going on at the same time. I don't know how I like managed to breathe. But hey, it was amazing. You looked great. Gurthaj looked great.
Thanks.
It was amazing overall, and and now we're here. But there's a couple things I think that we really need to, put into perspective for those when it comes to a wedding week. Number one, I would say is, family and their needs.
Ugh.
Yeah. Every family member wants to feel special, even though it's not their day. I personally, if anyone knows me, I'm very big on whoever's day it is to let them have their day.
Mm-hmm.
I will drop everything in my way, bend my back over, and let that person have their day. Because it's like, it's that thing that comes, once in a lifetime for you, right? Once in your life. Let that person enjoy it to the fullest. Let them have their moment and be like, yeah, I'm the groom or I'm the bride or whatever it is. It doesn't have to just be your wedding, right? Like, it's definitely a big moment, but even, for example, like a big milestone you have in your life. A lot of people, especially in our community, have this really bad habit of taking away somebody's moment. That's a big pet peeve of mine. I am a true believer that let that person have their moment. They might be a little bitchy to you. Sometimes that happens. There's groomzillas and bridezillas out there. But just remember, there's a lot of stress and all of that. Some of it may be valid, some of it may not. Yeah. But you just overall have to remember that, at the end of the day, just let them have it. After that, go back to your life. Go back to your life after that. So not every family member needs to feel special. Yes, in the moment you're like, Hanji, Sastrikal, all this, make sure they're fed and all that. At the end of the day, give them the respect. Honestly, that covers a lot of ground overall. You don't need to go above and beyond. But yeah, if it's your main family members who have helped you through thick and thin, yeah, make them feel special. But people who are like, get it, gandhi gan, like, didn't do the mummy or whoever the fuck it is. I'm sorry, I'm swearing. But, honey, she's just there to show off her suit, okay? That she probably wore after 5 years because she remembered she had this particular one. And then she's like, oh, appa ehe hall ch kade gaye nahi. Another khana pina kidda na. Yeah, she wants to eat the jalebiyan, okay? So straight up, just be respectful, deal with it, and walk away, alright? You don't need to talk further than that. You can honestly just blame it on there's so much going on. I don't have time to talk to every person for 30 minutes. They're not going to say anything. As long as you say hi, you smile, and you do a little chit chat for 2 minutes, you're good to go. So that's how you can definitely make any random person to a random family member special. But again, don't forget those who helped you. Don't forget all of those people who helped you in the real thick of the thick. Yep. And yeah, so there's ways to make certain people feel special throughout the whole thing. But at the end of the day, who needs to be felt special the most is the bride and the groom. And, just anyone who's actually really like, not to say that everybody, like the main family shouldn't, like they should feel special, but also like just be mindful. Maybe they haven't eaten, maybe they haven't had some water. I remember particularly from my brother's wedding, your brother Sonu, He asked me every single day. He's like, did you eat? Did you drink something?
He understood your pain. That's what.
Yeah.
He understood it, and he's like, yo, I should be checking up on her because he went through that with mine, right?
Everyone,
Yeah.
everyone, like all the fam held it down. I will say, whoever's listening from the families,
Thank you.
thank you. We love you. I appreciate all of you in the shit show of some days where I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. But thank you so much for checking in, because we don't check in on ourselves during that time. You literally, I went into a mode where I'm like, who the fuck am I? Why, I was just breathing. That was enough for me. I was standing, mere gitte gode pata nahi kitthe tak jaan gaye, right? I was taking random ass immunity shots. I was trying to do the most, right? So I'm just saying thank you, appreciate you. But yes, think about which people you're making to feel special. There's a limit to where you need to make them feel special. A little bit goes a long way, guys, for certain people. So that's my take on family and their needs.
I agree with that, and I was gonna say in that retrospect that although like we're doing like sister of the groom or like bride, at the end of the day, always the immediate family are the ones that go through everything and all of it, and they see what's happening and not happening. And as much as like, so and so wants to talk to you, you have to take time to yourself. So I can say to that, like, funny enough, you know how they say like, oh, you're not supposed to go outside when you're bride and you've had like whatever the week of the wedding and etc. You're not supposed to leave. I went outside by myself.
Scandalous.
I went to my makeup appointments by myself or something. I was freaking driving a car in Linga by myself, right? Because I wasn't gonna wait around for Tom, Dick, or Harry to bring me, you know what I mean? Or whoever. So I was like, no, I'm gonna go do it myself, and that's it. And you get that time to yourself. So as much as like, yeah, believe and go into the auspicious, etc., but be true to yourself, and it's good to have someone around to like feed off of and stuff and whatever in those moments. And if you can't say something nice because maybe you're stressed out about XYZ and you don't want to tell someone off or offend somebody, just take a step away, a minute away, or go to the bathroom. Go take your time to yourself. And as much as we will try to appease everybody, you won't be able to appease everybody. There will always be those couple that will be couple of people, not couple, but couple of people that will be pissed off no matter what. So when we plan it, we go, okay, let's make sure we have great food. Who's gonna eat it? People that come to it, right? So we're there going, okay, let's make sure we have great food for the guests that are coming. We don't care that we're fishing out all this money for this beautiful wedding that we don't even get to fully enjoy half the time or notice half the stuff that's going on. I have a funny story, but I'm gonna let you comment because it seems like you have a thought going on over there.
Yeah, I have a funny story from my brother's Jago. I'm a foodie, okay? For me, I'm sorry, I don't care about if anybody else likes the food. If it's my wedding, I better like the food. Joking, I will care if other people like the food, but I should also like the food, okay? Because I'm gonna eat it. I don't care, okay? Yeah, and pretty much, when it was my brother's Jago, I, had to say hi to everyone. I was dolled up. It was one of those events where I could definitely, like, be the number one shining person, right? So, yeah, I was all dolled up, all sorts of things, and finally, pakode were out and about, so I get my plate, like, I'm sitting with my friends at the table. I had invited a couple of my friends, and I was so excited. I was like, I just sat down, had maybe one bite of, I don't know, paneer pakora.
You had to get up again.
My brother calls me. He's like, "Come, we're taking pictures," because the main family pictures. So I go taking pictures with my mom and my brother, and I'm like, "Okay, this is gonna take me like 2 minutes, right?
No,
get those." Why did I have to be a part of every single picture?
Because you're immediate family.
But the groom should. I shouldn't.
No.
I was there for over an hour or two. I now don't know how I'm going to smile for that long when it's my turn. At least feed me. And after that, like, I was like, okay, wait, can I go eat my pakode now?
Hold on, but did your brother eat? Do you know if your brother ate then? Did someone feed him? You see? You gotta think about it.
Most of the times he ate throughout the whole wedding week. I can attest to that. That particular moment, I don't remember, but I think it's fair to say we did a whole last performance and did so much, I deserve to eat too. I'll just take that kind of
I
there.
think okay, so honestly, usually people say that at the receptions they don't eat. Me and Gurdaj, we ate. Like we made sure we sat down, people brought us and we were eating. My mom didn't eat at the reception, which I was dying. I was like, bro, you should have taken it. Shikapa masai ponche, masai cut, and they didn't even have appetizers. I think they had dinner. I don't know. People ate, some people didn't eat, and I'm hearing these stories from like our immediate families. I'm dying. I'm like, well, you should have. Like, you sit down, be like, sorry, I have to go and get your energy because you were the ones that are like running around the most, doing everything, and you need it, and you should enjoy it. So yes, guys, always make sure a conscious effort to like have someone lined up in your family to just feed the people. Be like, go ask around, make sure they're fed, because the last thing you want is someone like fainting or something or etc. I don't remember, to be honest, where I ate. I know we ate at the reception, but the rest of the events, I don't know. The engagement too, I think so, because we did like a long. So guys, we did like a wedding week, and we started off with like an engagement, then we did another thing, and then we did jago, and we did chura, and all. Anyways, so I don't remember eating anywhere but the reception. The rest of it is blank. I don't know if I ate or didn't eat. The wedding day though, I remember I ate in the morning. I had a bagel, and after that, I didn't eat until evening. Because how are you gonna go to the bathroom with that outfit?
That is
And
true.
God forbid you like touch something and then something moves and then you don't have your makeup artist going around with you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't want to mess it up. You spent a lot of money on that, so.
Right. I remember for my brother's Anandgarj, we didn't have time to eat langar after
Mm,
the ceremony. So
mm,
we were all heading on the party bus straight to the place they were gonna do the photo shoot.
mm,
So we had ordered a bunch of, a lot of McDonald's and a lot of pizza. And I was like, running around doing stuff, even at the photo
mm.
shoot. And some of my cousins, right? Our cousins Jyoti and Minder and Harjot and all of them. I'm shouting them out if they listen to this. Yes, I said your names. Uh, and they held it down. They're like, we're saving 2 slices of pizza for Tarn because clearly they couldn't save McDonald's for me. I'm still a little upset about that, but that's okay.
It's
So
okay.
they saved 2 slices of pizza for me, but there were still people trying to take that pizza from them, and they were getting upset. They're like, no, this is her pizza. I have never seen men fight over 2 slices of pizza in my entire life, but hey, it was for me. I feel special. I felt very special. I'm
You
like,
should.
wow, you guys are fighting over pizza for me.
You should. You should definitely feel
Men, take
special.
notes.
Yeah, you should. So yeah, those kind of things that just make sure like you have someone or whatever, just make sure you tell your family be like eat. I understand you have to be there, you have to do what you have to do for people, but just eat because if you look at for yourself again, we're in this process, working on ourselves and etc. and whatever maybe. And we gotta teach our parents a little bit of selfishness in the sense of like go eat yourself. Protect yourself first. Feed yourself first. Then only can you feed the others around you.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to touch on there is remember to breathe and enjoy the
Mhm.
events. All
Mhm.
right, that's very important. Even though your
Mhm.
main family, you're the bride and the groom, like us, like especially the bride and the groom, enjoy
Yep.
it.
Yep.
But main families, like, take time to enjoy the events.
Yep.
I can say for sure, some of the events like they just like flew over my head.
Mhm.
I think only till the reception is where I felt like, okay, now
You
it's
can
time to
breathe.
breathe and
Yeah.
relax, right?
Yeah.
And with that being said, too, right? Like, don't over stress about last minute things. There will be a few things that will obviously pop up because that's just how it is. But don't try to prolong tasks while planning. I'm an
Yes.
OCD. I have OCD tendencies overall. So with my brother's wedding, because a lot of it fell with me to like pretty much what I did maybe would help someone else out is when it got set that, he was going to get married. We had booked at least the venues and the dates were set. We pretty much all sat down as a family and I started to write, okay, this is our first event. What is going to happen from the beginning to the end? So then I wrote down every single thing we needed to get, like if it was decor, if it was a mehndi artist or whatever the case was, like a decorations, a party bus, so I wrote it out like that and I started checking it off. Like I'm not going, like there's stress of course throughout the wedding week. No, like no joke, you're going to feel that. But I felt I wasn't stressed about task wise because again, I'm a very OCD tendon person. So
Mhm.
I had all my ducks in line. So even if there's
Mhm.
one or two stressors, I was like, okay, it's not that bad. I can deal. Uh, lists are your lifesaver. Have your Excel sheets, whatever.
Mhm.
I don't think my brother's wedding could have gone as smooth if I didn't do that. Because it would have gone to a shit show.
I think that's 100% correct, and I think you're already like mini on your way to mini planning your own wedding as well, and I agree with that. So For mine, actually, coincidentally, prior to this, had worked with an events company here, and I was able to learn a lot, and I was able to see a lot of people in action. So when it came time to choosing vendors and stuff for my own, I already kind of had, I was biased, and I already kind of knew who I did want to work with and stuff. So I was reaching out to them first before going to anyone else because I did see their work and stuff, and I enjoyed. And I think more important than that is the quality of the person. So when you meet with them, interact with them, and etc., you will see who you want to be long term working with and stuff. So that was really important to me. Was if even if I emailed you, I wanted to see. I honestly was waiting to see how did you respond to my email, even if it's an inquiry email, because I'm gonna tell you some of them I send out, the answers I get, I'm like, what is this? And I've worked a lot. I've worked almost 10 years in customer service. Like, I know what kind of service you should and shouldn't get. But if this is like, let's say you're, I don't know, a makeup artist, or if I'm inquiring about it, then you're, if I say, hey, I have this coming up, da da da, don't just send me your sheet list and tell me here are the prices. Kind of give me more details and stuff, or like ask questions, or at least say hey and this, that, whatever. So those kind of things people watch out for. And I think that sometimes, artists or whoever maybe our vendors are not conscious of it, but literally people are watching out to see what kind of customer service you have initially, because then only, like myself, I only took the ones that I was like, okay, like I like the way that we're going, I like that you're taking the time to respond to me and stuff, and we'll go from there. You got to build your relationships from there. But that being said, is that there's a lot of things that you should not be nitpicking for. Reason is, at the end of the day, you're marrying the person that you want to be with. You're going to spend the rest of your life with them, and etc. And that's what counts the most at the end of the day. The rest of the things are honestly very secondary. And we spend a lot of time planning, figuring out, thinking it, and you don't even remember or see or get to enjoy everything that you wanted to most of the time. Sometimes you can, and kudos to you if you're able to, but at the end of the day, the bigger picture is what? That you got to spend that time together, you're able to be together a long term, and you're just throwing this wedding together, but it should be enjoyable for you and for others. But again, don't be so nitpicky on stuff. Kind of like, it's okay if it didn't happen, whatever. Choose the things you can compromise on, and then the ones you can't compromise on.
That's very true. That's very true. And, you know, another thing that is super obvious, and hopefully a lot of people do realize, it's going to be a week of no sleep to the next level. And when I mean to the next level, you will be recovering for a few days to a week after that. So
Easy, if not
easily,
more.
if you're main family, if you're especially main family, you will be. It is going to be nice though overall. You're gonna all be together, family get together due to the wedding. Lots of people, traveling from other places, coming together, making memories, all that. Some of them you may not like, you never know, right? Like everyone's family dynamics are different, but it's gonna be those times where you think back to it, like it's funny. One of my mom's cousins, she lives in Edmonton, one of my mossies, and I have actually, because they like live so far and stuff, I haven't my mom has been in more communication with her more in the recent times over the last couple of years.
The one I met too. No.
Yeah, you possibly met her, and so her son, one of her sons came to the wedding, and
Yeah.
we had never met him.
Yeah, I
right?
hadn't met him either. I didn't know who this was.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, we had never met him.
Nicest guy, man.
The sweetest, like the sweetest guy. And so I remember he came the day before the events were about to start, like the jitney. And I always say this about him when we met him, and everyone says the same exact thing. Within the first 15, not even 15, say the first 10, 15 minutes, like, like, it's like we've known him forever. Like, now we're like,
everywhere.
it was like we've known him forever, and we're like, yeah, come here. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you going over there? Sleep over at the house. Like, usually the wedding house will be like, yo, go sleep somewhere else. We want it. We were telling him, stay at our house.
Yeah.
We will shove you in a bed.
Yeah.
We will find you a spot in a corner. All right. We were all jam packed, but we were like, we will find you a corner. And I remember it was just so fun. Right. So like, I think there's things like that where you think back to and you're like, wow, like, if he didn't come, we wouldn't know him like we do now, right?
It's those memories for life that you make, and those are only made during the wedding week. You will never have any experiences or times to ever do that kind of stuff. So I think those kind of memories and those special relationships and stuff is something you can't ever get back.
Oh, for sure. Or for sure. Especially, I remember for your wedding, our cousins from BC did a performance at her jago.
Yeah.
And I just remember, so Dilpreet and Gurman, they both did a performance at her jago, and I just remember them practicing before the wedding, and it was so I was literally just monitoring them. I'm like, you and they like siblings fight, right? So when one was like messing up, they would like be cussing at one another, and it was just so funny. But it was just so cute, and I still have the video of the performance. So, and they definitely look different because,
They get older.
they're getting older and stuff. And then I look back to the one we did at my brother's jago too. So, there's so many different things. Now it's like, if we don't do a performance, our family's like, documentally not chalo. Like, this is literally what I hear.
So I'll tell you a funny story about that, is that at mine, I was like pumped. I wanted to do a dance. I was like, yeah. And when I was younger, we had done a performance at one of my older cousin's wedding. We had done it, but she made us practice so hard for it that like she was like on it and she wanted it perfect. So we were practicing continuously, and we did really, really good. That we had to do it again. Remember Pratap's Lordy? No, his birthday, I think, or something.
Oh, the Lordy like, get together,
something like that. But
that was the biggest
summer,
event of the summer that year.
Yeah, for some reason it was in the summer or whatever it was. Anyways, and we did it there too because we had just done it not too long ago, and they're like, "Oh yeah, just do it." So we did like the wedding performance there too, and it was like the biggest thing that year. And I was like, okay. After that, I never did a fucking performance, alright? So when I wanted to do it for my wedding, I was like, yeah. And I like made my friends do the choreo. They did like everything and da da da. And honestly, I had the nerves. I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't get it in my head. I couldn't do it. And I was like, I was supposed to perform, and no one knew that. And I was even telling hubby, I'm like, yeah, you gotta do it too. You're gonna come into ours. You're gonna do it with us too. And he's like, no. He actually practiced.
He did perform.
He performed, yes, but he was supposed to come into the performance with my friends, which I was supposed to do too, but I chickened out because I'm a chicken shit. And he was supposed to do that too, and nobody knows this. And ever since he makes fun of me, he's like, I did it, you didn't do it. I was like, you know how many nerves go on with the girl, especially when wedding stuff is going on? Like, it hits you. So, yeah, if stuff like that happens to you, don't worry about it. It's fine. You will make up for it one day. I will make up for it one day somehow. But yeah, I was scared.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, back to your performance at Pratap's Lordy. I remember that. And yes, that one summer for us and our family was literally like
huge.
It was the event of the summer. Like, you have no idea. It's like we were all together for like a week. It was like a week. How are we all together?
I don't
Did
know.
our parents not have jobs? Like, we literally were all together for a whole week for this Lordy.
Yeah.
It was insane.
A lot of fun. Like,
it was so much fun. I just remember Sonu in a corner on his like Nintendo and just, like, I don't want to associate, but it was just so funny. I just remember. But I was a lot more younger then, right? Like, I think you guys were like in middle school or high school starting.
Yeah.
Right? So we were
in our like stupid teenage
You were
years.
Starting in your teenage years.
Stupid years.
We were in our elementary years.
Yeah. So there was obviously that, like, once you're like, okay, those stupid teenagers is once you're like a year apart from each other, who are you? You know what I mean? That's how it is. Like, oh, we're older than you. So, like, my age group, again, I'm going to say this. In the first podcast, I said I was in my 20s. It's a mistake. I'm in my 30s, right? Anyways, so we do have a bit of an age gap, but now it doesn't matter. It's like, whatever. But when we're younger, it's like, ew, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And that's just how it was, the dynamic.
And it's funny because, like, even growing up, like, with Dilpreet and me, right? Like, technically, me and her, I think we have like a 5-year age gap, possibly.
Are you serious?
I think it's about 5 years, right? But it's about 5 years. But I like, even now, like, it doesn't feel like we have an age gap. I don't even think it felt like it. It felt like it maybe when she was a lot younger, when I was
probably
in
when
high
you were in
school.
your teens and she was younger. That's when I think you feel it the most. I felt that with my brother too, and I feel that once I got out of my teens, then I was more understanding of it. But when I was my teenager years, it's just what it is, right? You're like, oh, you think you're cool, you think you're this, that, whatever. But once you get out of it and you get your head out of your ass, then you're like, okay, you know what? I'm a human being.
Oh yeah,
everyone's a human being, and we get out of it.
And one other thing that I have on my list to talk about: smile, people. There's photo and video everywhere.
No, but okay. The thing is, though, if we compare in India, when they used to take those pictures, they would come at you with the food and taking pictures of your food, and then you could tell who's eating how much, and da-da-da-da-da, and I die, right? So sometimes that's happened here. When I've gone to, like, events here in Montreal, people are videotaping, and you get so conscious. You're like, bro, Makani Sagdi.
So I'm dying over here because my dad has three other siblings, two sisters and a brother. My dad is actually a younger twin, by 15 minutes. So I have a tayaji. And so not my taya, any of my taya's kids, but pretty much my brother, and then both my puas, like each of one of their kids, right? Everyone, like all three, pretty much like decided to get married in the same year. Like main cousins all decided to get married in the same year. So first it was my cousin Jyoti in May in Montreal, and then it was Money in beginning of July, and then end of July was my brother, right? Like insane. So for Jyoti's wedding, because it was Montreal, right? I don't know who this video photo person was, but they were doing that thing where they were recording us while we were eating, and at one point some of us had to say, "Can you not?" We actually said that to him.
Did he?
Like Damen or Gia or someone were like, it was a Jago or somewhere, we're like, "Can you not?"
There. Yeah, I wasn't there.
Can you not? And we're all just like, "Yo, what are," like I had to like cover my face. It was just so funny.
That's what I'm saying. They do that. Like, sorry, I mentioned the one I said now. Someone did that it was in Montreal. They were recording our food. I'm like, seriously? Like, we were just literally done at picking up the food at the stations. They're right there as soon as you're leaving the station.
No, and then the funniest thing is, so of course you're gonna pile up into cars, right, to go to the events, right? So for the Anand Garj, we had all gotten together at the wedding house, and we were pretty much piling up into all the cars, because there's just one like wedding one where like Jyoti, like our cousin, went in, right, in the groom, but there wasn't like a party bus. So the car I was in, there's one extra person, and me being the shortest, I got stuck in the trunk. Okay, if anybody wants to visualize, I'm 5'2". Okay, so this happens to me often, and so I was in the trunk. Whatever, it wasn't that bumpy of a road. You know, it was fine. It was a kulli dulli trunk. And we get to the Gurdwara, and then the photo video guys is like, "No, you guys need to bring your cars out, and we're gonna record you bringing the cars in."
Oh my.
Such India Desi style. And I'm just like, please, can we not do this? Mera sar pichon dikhi jana ma. Like, when they're recording, all you're gonna see is the recording, and you're gonna see, why is this head bobbing in the background?
Why couldn't you just bend down?
But what if there was a bump there? Wouldn't I like jump up and it's like, okay, boing, there's a head there.
So what did you do?
We opted out of it. Thank God we opted out of it. They did it for a few of the cars, but I was just like, hell no. And then, sorry, one other funny thing, Jyoti, I'm so sorry that I'm saying this, but everybody needs to know this, and a lot of people do know this, but you know what? It's okay. It happened. You know, it happened. So, you know how some grooms they train themselves to like jongri maar ke baithna, right, for their lama. So we tried to train him the day or two before his wedding.
That's too late.
Okay,
that's too late.
He was sitting for maybe 2 minutes, and he's like, "Okay, I've been sitting for 30 minutes. Can I get up?" All right, the exaggeration, you see. For his actual wedding, guys, his legs fell asleep. Both of his legs. By the time his entire lama, like when he was going to stand up for the ardas, that's when his legs fell asleep. And like my brother and like the other grooms, like them and all of them, they had to go and like help him up. And after the wedding, like the Nandakars, like after that day, right, when you know our sister-in-law like comes back to the house and everything, because it was live recorded, right? So we're rewatching it. We rewatched that particular moment, all of us sitting there 4 times at different speeds.
Oh my God, you're so mean.
He was there too. He was dying.
Yeah.
But I know it's not funny,
no,
but it was actually like, but we're like cousins, so we're gonna make fun of you.
I know.
So it was just, yeah. So, I'm sorry, Jyoti, I had to expose you. But yeah, so different things happen at weddings is pretty much what we're getting at.
Yeah.
But I think this could definitely be a 2-parter, 3-parter, who knows how many parter episode.
We can continue this for long and long. But I was going to say, though, I want to clarify that we do have 2 Jyotis, though. So, although we're referencing one now, and I referenced one before at the beginning to say that that person got married before me, that is a girl cousin Jyoti, okay? And the other one that we're talking about now that got married this year in May, that is our female cousin. Sorry, that is our male cousin.
I was about to say.
I'm very sorry.
You just said the same day.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm very tired. It is the end of the day. I had a very, very long day. But yes, there is a male and a female. And they got married at 2 different years. So that's why we have a bunch of
very
different colors.
spaced out years.
Yeah. But our wedding cycle of our family right now started in 2018 and it's still ongoing. Yeah, we'll see what happens next though.
But anything else you want to add on for the episode?
I think the only thing I'm going to honestly say is that, the focus should be on yourselves. The focus should be really like what is important to you as spouses together, not to get so strung up on like things that honestly don't really matter. And that's the best way you can go forward with it. Because at the end of the day, what really matters is you guys being together, doing the best you can, and also trying to help your family stay like, grounded and help them the best they can. I was forcing my mom and a few others. I'm like, here's your makeup appointment, leave. I had people selected for that and be like, go. Because you can't sit there saving, like, locally save, like, I'm not saying no, like, you have the wedding going on. It's your own internal. So, as much as you're looking out for yourself, do that for the ones around you too, because sometimes they don't do it for themselves, right? And we need to do that for them to make sure that they're taken care of. And just enjoy the process as much as you can. It's not hard. It's not easy. It's as hard as you can make it. It's as easy as you can make it. But it is a lifestyle change. And you have to remember that there is a lot of nerves associated, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, especially for the bride and groom and the immediate families. And just go with that. Flow with it, go with it, and everything will be fine at the end of it. As long as you're able to just be like, you know what, it's alright. Don't sweat it and just think of the bigger picture at the end of the day.
I agree. And yeah, the last thing I would say with respect to this for today's episode is that, you have to think about the families and what they're going through. It's a celebration.
Mm-hmm.
You're bringing two families together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what that family has gone through to have a happy moment come up.
Yep.
And you know what? Just be, don't be an asshole. Just,
add to their happiness.
Add
and
to
if
their
you
happiness.
can't,
Don't take it
just
away.
be quiet.
Yeah.
Just be quiet. Don't say anything. You came there. You're enjoying
Yeah.
it. Do whatever. You're there for them, right? You're not.
Yeah.
It's not your moment. As has Darn expressed at the beginning, it's not your moment. Let the people enjoy their moment.
If there's things that you didn't like about their wedding, okay.
Talk afterwards to whoever you want.
No.
to.
If it's not directed towards you, you're like, oh, I didn't like the decor. Make a note of it. Don't do it for your wedding.
Yeah, but
if you're not married, right?
Yeah.
If there's something that you didn't like about it that's not personal to you and that you can possibly do for a future thing for yourself, then change it.
Good on you. And
right?
Good on you.
Or if you didn't like it, well, good, you didn't do it for your time.
Exactly.
Right?
And if you're those family members who are getting stinky face, no. If you're those family members who are putting their nose up because of whatever, or they weren't given that special treatment, come on. Really?
Your time will come when with one of your kids or an event happens in your family and like your immediate family. There will be an event. It doesn't have to be a wedding.
No, you're invited. Go enjoy. Be happy for someone. And if you can't be happy for them, don't go.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But don't go there and cause issues and stuff and whatever. It's not the goal at the end of the day. Things happen. It's not saying things are intentional, but you're gonna go somewhere. You're gonna enjoy it for people. Go with an open heart, open arms, open whatever. Go and fully enjoy. And that's it. Leave it at that and be there for them and support them. Because that's what you gotta do at the end of the day. No matter what. A lot of things happen. We all know our families are the way they are, especially the Brown fams, and everyone who knows. Just go there and be for them, and that's it. Leave it. The rest of it, leave it alone.
But yeah, thank you all for tuning in for this episode. We hope we made you laugh with our stories and just our commentary on, wedding week. Again, this is just a little snippet. There is so much more we could cover. We were just like, you know what, we're gonna take it easy. This could be a whole season if we wanted to make it. Okay,
we could start with
we could do a whole separate season.
Cake, decor, just
real shit. But thanks again to everyone for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy.
Yes.
And we will catch you next time.
Until next time, have a great evening, day, week, weekend, whenever you're listening. Thank you.
Bye.